Yes, good day, Classy. Thank you very much for connecting and tuning on to Metric Hub. I'm sure you are seeing that our channel is actually growing, and I want to appreciate your support. I want to appreciate your connections. Please note that Metric Hub has just came to bridge the gap between those who have access and those who doesn't not have. So please just check this video. We are going to go through some revision for ICAS scope as well as semester revision work. So without wasting any time, note that this is office practice N5. We are doing office practice N5. It's a 2025 paper. I'm sure that the papers you might find them all over, but let's revise together right now, and we can be able to understand and relate every other related questions and concepts within these areas that are asked in this paper. So without wasting any time, we want to go through the paper, and we want to make sure that we are going to enjoy the revision as a class, as a group, as a channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. So instructions class are always very important. I'm sure that I always tell you that when you are doing revision or when you are answering exams, when you are in any type of exam, you always need to read instructions. Any five, I'm sure that you are experts in this. Every instruction is very important. So please just take note of your instructions. Section A, you answer all questions and answer any five questions in section B. These are very important instructions. And I always want to tip you that when you are in an exam, it is always recommended that you start with the question that you know the best in order to save time. You understand? In order to do the best and impress the marker. So please just do that as you go to exams. So without wasting any time, we are given multiple choice questions, section A, which we are just supposed to answer by choosing the correct answer from the ones that are given in here. So a dash may be taken for urgent personal matters when employees have got urgent personal matters, including illness of family members or a funeral. What is it that an employee can take? An employee can take, we are saying a sick leave is when the person, him or herself, is sick. It is taken when the person is sick, him or herself. We are saying ordinary leave is just given for every employee over a period of time of working. And then a special leave is taken for urgent matters. A special leave is taken. So we are saying a special leave is taken when an employee has got urgent matters, including illness of family members or also funerals, which we say that these are special occasions which a person or an employee would need to attend. Obviously, a study leave, it has to do with an employee who is going through study or manpower development, going to write exams, attending classes or whatsoever, but therefore it is taken with regards to advancement in studying and education. That is where we talk about study leave. So the correct answer is what? It's C, which acronym refers to management functions. Management functions, I'm quite sure that this is a very common and very interesting area of our subject. When we talk about management functions, it includes, we have got planning, we have got planning, we have got organizing, we have got leading, and then finally we talk about controlling. So we are saying management functions, it has to do with what? With POC. POC is the one that defines management functions. Management functions is defined by A, which actually means planning, organizing, controlling, and what? And organizing, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. These are the management functions. When we are in any organization, they need to be planning. Work must be planned. We talk about organization as in terms of coordination, as in terms of setting up of schedules and so forth, leading and controlling in order to ensure that the organization remains viable. We are saying A should be the right answer. POC is the correct answer that defines management functions. Matters to keep in mind regarding taking leave. When people are taking leave, what matters do they have to take in mind? So therefore, a leave is a period of time when an employee is not at work, an employee is taking a break, an employee is taking a rest. But in any case, we have got various types of leave. We talked about special leave, we talked about sick leave, we talk about ordinary leave, we talk about maternity leave, family responsibility leave. All those are various leaves. But then taking when taking a leave, an employee must not one not to bother a person during their leave period, not to bother a person during their leave period. It's actually the right answer that when an employee or a person is on leave, he mustn't bother uh, he mustn't bother people during his leave period. Uh, you don't plan about replacement. It is not your duty. People who stay behind who inform the substitute about matters that is nothing to do with the person on leave. The person on leave is actually on break and is not involved. And leave your phone number so that the phone number is always there in the in the HR department, in the human resources function. So what we are saying is that we cannot, the correct answer which is right here is that not to bother a person during their leave period. During a leave period, a person must stay, take a break and rest. The time management is the process of using available time in such a way that every hour or minute is used optimally. Time management is used optimally, meaning to say it is used the best. So which of the following is not an example of time management? Which of the following is not an example of time management? One, the telephone calls. When people are doing telephone calls, we are consuming time. Grouping similar tasks, we are saying grouping similar tasks, it has to do we are saying is not. So in other words, we are saying one which is not an example of time management. Starting the day with a different task, it is time management because a person is doing something contributing towards the organization, preparing in advance. It also saves time because an employee, a person would be using less time, or it is effective time management because less time is going to be used. I mean, it's going to be consumed or spent on the work. So question number 4, our answer is what is A, telephone calls. Telephone calls, when people are at work, certain times other people have no professional ethics where they would spend much of their time doing phone calls. So the right answer is what is telephone calls. It's a waste time. It is wasting time in an organization. It is not recommended. It's not a good ethics. It's not a good practice. So the correct answer is A. Dash is the Dash is to give certain authority, duties, tasks, and responsibility to others so that the work can be done more efficiently and meaningfully. When work is to be done, what has to be done is that we talk about delegation, assigning duties and responsibilities to other people in order to share responsibilities, in order to share the workload. So what is supposed to be understood is that work has to be delegated. Delegation is the right word, is the right answer, which is to give certain authority, duties, and tasks and responsibilities to others. That is delegation. We said organizing, we defined it last time in the beginning there. Dictation is a form of note taking, which can also not apply in terms of authorities and responsibilities. So the correct answer is what is delegation. Number 6, the duties of the messengers are dash. The duties of the messengers are dash. Extending tea and lunch breaks. What are the duties of the messengers? Messengers are people who works within the organization with regards to communication. They facilitate communication within an organization or of an organization and its stakeholders. So what is the duty of the stakeholder? it obviously has to do with sending, collecting, and delivering mail and parcels. Messengers are there to send. They are there to communicate, collecting and delivering mails and parcels. A messenger has to do that. So the right answer is what? Is D. Not extending T breaks, not fetching and returning files to the central filing system, waiting for someone else to tell them what to do. That is not the duty of messengers. A document that gives a traveler permission to enter a country and stay there for a document that gives a traveler permission to enter a country and stay for some certain period of time. What is that document that gives a traveler a right to enter a country and stay for a certain period of time? Number 7, we are saying when a person enters a country, in order for the person to have the right and stay there for some period of time, we are saying that it is what? It's a visa. A visa is a travel document which allows individuals or people or persons to enter within a country and stay there for some certain period of time. You understand? Identity book is just a national document which every citizen is given in order to identify the person. We know very well that it identifies where you are born, what is your date of birth, which place were you born and all those. That is an identity document. A passport is just a traveling document which allows a person to enter and pass from one place to another, but not to do with staying. Birth certificate is just also an identity document which we can also all know that a birth certificate is a mandatory document which also leads an individual to obtain what? An identity document. Uh, This serves as a proof of payment. When payment is made, what is it that serves as a proof of payment? Number 8. What serves as a proof of payment? It is actually a receipt. A receipt is used to serve as a proof of payment. I'm sure this is this is just easy and straightforward. We have been in, every one of us is at a point in time bought things. When you buy things, when you buy goods, and when you buy goods, you pay for services, you pay for whatsoever. So in order for us to confirm that you have paid, you receive a confirmation of payment in the form of a receipt. An invoice is given when you are actually to inquire and to order goods or pay for certain services, which you are given a breakdown of the amount of money that must be paid, and also it specifies the period of time of waiting for you to what to pay and to order for those goods. So what we are saying is a receipt is the one which is given as a proof of payment. Number 9, Dash is the only provider or providers of landline telecommunication services in South Africa. The telecommunication services in South Africa are provided by Telkom. Telkom provides it provides I'm sure we are quite aware that Telkom is a telecommunication company in South Africa that is responsible for provision of landline communication. So a person who issues a check is a dash. A person who issues a check is a what? Is a drawer. A person who issues a check is a drawer. When you issue a check, we are saying you are a drawer. A drawee is the person who is also going to what? To pay out from the check. And then what we need to understand is that when we are looking in these banking and transactioning processes, we need to understand that these terminologies are always very common in our exam. So a drawer issues a check. He issues a check. A person who issues a check is a what? Is a drawer. And then we are given columns to match, which we are given very well that there are answers that we're supposed to match here to say that which answer applies to each of the following statements in terms of the matching of the statements in column A with words or definitions or terms in column B. So a follow-up system that helps a secretary follow up on tasks that still need to be done. When a secretary has to follow up tasks that still needs to be done, he actually has to do with a to-do list. A to-do list is actually a checklist. It is actually a control document that identifies items that needs to be done or that need to be followed up. So we are saying it is to-do list, which is H number 2.11 to 1.21. A to-do list is used as a checklist by a secretary in order to follow up on tasks that need to be done and what still need to be done as well. Number two, uh, supervise someone and know what they are doing. When you supervise people and you know what they are doing, you are actually monitoring. It is called monitoring. It is called monitoring. Supervise someone and know what they are doing. That is called monitor. We monitor the person. That is what? That is G. Monitor. Monitor the person. And then an action that goes against the rules. An action that goes against the rules. When an action goes against the rules, it means it is something that is not allowed. When an action goes against the rules, is something that cannot be allowed, which we can say that from our list of terminologies that we are given here, an action that goes against an action which goes against the rules is called an infringement. It's called an infringement, which you can find out that is what is or an action that goes against the rules in an infringement. An action that goes against the rules, we say that it's what? An infringement, which is or an infringement class. That is an action that goes against the rules. Intending to harm. When you are doing something with intention to harm, we are saying intending to harm. When somebody does things with intending to harm, that's being hostile. That's being hostile. Intending to harm, that's being hostile. Number four, intending to harm, that's being hostile. Determining the aims and goals that get to be reached within a certain time, within a certain period of time. When you determine aims and goals that needs to be reached within a certain period of time, we call that we are saying that is called it has to be called what? Planning. We say that is planning. You determine what needs to be done within a certain period of time, aims and goals, aims and goals, aims and goals that needs to be reached or that needs to be met within a certain period of time. We say that is called planning. Planning, planning, which is on letter, it is on letter P. Planning is determination of aims and goals. It is called planning class. That is called planning. A person plans, a manager plans, determining aims and goals. A person is doing planning. It takes information and calculates the exact location and positions. It in an electronic map. Information is taken and then calculates the exact location and positions it in an electronic map. We call that GPS. I'm sure these you guys of now, you know the geographic positioning system. Geographic positioning system, it identifies information. We are saying it actually it takes information and calculates uh, the exact location and positions it on an electronic map. We call that about GPS, which is what? Which is B, geographic positioning system. We are saying GPS, it is the one that is used in terms of identifying exact location and position of a given place on the geographic map or on an electronic map. So we say it's what? GPS. This is what? GPS. It is the one that does that. In a correspondence written by an employer in their own handwriting a correspondence written by an employer in their own right, a correspondence written by an employer in their own handwriting, an employer writes correspondence in his or her own writing, it is called a manuscript. That is called a manuscript. That is called a manuscript. Number 7 is N. A manuscript. A manuscript identifies correspondence written by an employer in their own handwriting. Number 8, a document that contains all the destinations, arrival and departure dates and times, accommodation details, and transport from the beginning to the end of a trip. From the beginning to the end of a trip. I'm sure for some of you, you have heard of this in tourism. We talk about this in traveling. It's called an itinerary. Itinerary, it identifies the destinations. It is K. Itinerary identifies all destinations, arrivals and departure dates and times, accommodation details. It actually gives a narrative of the traveling from, we are saying, from the departure to the destination, or what other things involved in the trip. So it identifies everything from the beginning to the end of a trip. Is called an itinerary. Kept in an organization to accommodate the payment of small amounts in the daily running of a business. When we are in business, some small amount of money is kept in order to accommodate the payment of small amounts in the daily running of a business. That is called petty cash. It is called petty cash, which is L. Petty cash is used as uh, a relief, as the amount of money that is set aside for daily running or routine uh, small functions of a business. And normally you should understand that these are small amounts. It has nothing to do with big spendings. It is set aside as an organizational policy. How much money must be set aside for a daily functioning of the business? We call that petty cash. And number 10, the method used to control money in a business. When money is controlled in a business, the method that is used to control money in a business, we talk about a cash register. A cash register is used to control money in a business. Cash register is a method that is used to control money in a business. So the method used to control money in a business, we say that it's a cash register, which is what? Which is E. That is a cash register. It is used to control money in a business. So these are some of the points that you just need to get all of them when you are in an exam. And then we choose one word or term from the list below for each of the following descriptions and write it next to the question number. The written communication between departments, the written communication between departments or branches of an organization, written communication within written communication between departments or branches of an organization. What is that? Can we say database? Can we say it's assets? Can we say that it's a stenography? Is it pausing, decision making, organogram, written communication between departments of an organization? We can talk about internal documents, which can be also, we can have either, they can also talk about memos here. We are saying it's what? It's internal documents. Internal documents. They are written communication between departments within an organization, which I said that we can give a memorandum as an example that can be there. And then the logical structure of an organization represented in a diagram, the flow of authority, the flow of communication, the flow of control within an organization that is represented in a diagram, that is an organogram. An organogram depicts the communication structure, the flow of power and authority within an organization. So it is called it is called an organogram. It is called an organogram, which is a diagrammatic representation of the communication structure within an organization. We call that an organogram. The principal channel for routing policy. The principal channel for routing policy decisions and instructions from top management downwards to the personnel at the various at the various levels. Communication routing policy, principle of channel for routing policy, decisions and instructions from top management departments to the personnel at the various levels. We talk about what it has to do with. It has to do with vertical functions, because we are talking about routing policy decisions and instructions from top downwards. So we are talking about vertical functions. It can be vertical communication, it can be whatsoever, but the question is, it has to do with the vertical functions, which runs from top down or downwards up, from downwards to upwards. So we can talk about that as a what? As a vertical function. It's a vertical function. It's a vertical function. Valuable property. Valuable property. Variable property within an organization. Valuable. When something is valuable, we say that these are organizational assets. Valuable property, valuable assets. We say that these are what is called assets. Something that has got value, something that can be disposed, something that can be sold in order for the survival or in order of rising cash. It can also be used as collateral security within an organization. That is called assets. A form of speed writing or a shorthand where symbols are used to represent words and phrases. When shorthand symbols are used to represent words and phrases, we talk about stenography. I'm sure these terminologies, we have seen them when we read through. We say stenography is actually a speed writing. It's a form of speed writing, which actually stenography. It's called stenography. And then the order system. The order and systematic storing and arranging of documents so that it can be located easily for reference purposes. When arranging documents, a systematic order is used, and then it is easy for retrieval of that information. It can be for reference purposes. So we call that filing. Filing, we have got different filing systems. Filing systems identifies the order in which information is classified. So it is what? It is we are saying when information is stored in an organization, we have got a filing system. Filing is used. Filing is actually done in order to ensure that documents are easily locatable and are arranged in some specific fashion. The line controlled by server, the line controlled by server that asks one terminal after another whether there are many messages to be transmitted. We call that pausing. Pausing, it is called pausing. Number 7, pausing. Pausing is actually line controlled by the server that asks one terminal after another whether there are messages to be transmitted. So messages must be moved, message must be sent. So it's a line controlled by the server, which we said is the main box, the main communication tower that actually asks one terminal after another whether there are messages to be transmitted. The process of identifying different options to solve a problem, to evaluate the options and to choose the best option as the solution to the problem. When we are to identify different options to solve a problem and evaluate options and choose the best alternative as a solution to the problem. Against this, we talk about that in terms of what? decision making. Decision making, it actually decision making. You are coming up with the best alternative. You are coming up with the best uh, option in order of solving a problem. So number 8, it is decision decision making. And then the science of making the workplace comfortable and user friendly for the employees. When a place is gonna be made, a workplace is made comfortable, is made habitable and also user friendly, to make that it is an approachable place, a flexible place, which is supposed to be done at a workplace. We call that ergonomics. It is called ergonomics. That is the science of making a place, economics, the science of making a workplace and a workplace comfortable and user friendly for employees. It is called what? It's called economics. It's called economics. An organized collection of data created with computer software. An organized collection of data created with computer software that allows you to store and manage the data. When data is collected, it is organized and it is created with computer software. We call that a database. That is called a database. A database is actually a collection of data created with a computer software that allows you to store uh, and manage the data. We talk about, for example, students' information. We actually collect all that information in an organized form. We use our information management systems in order to store that information and make it to be readily available when it is needed and make it to be accessible. So we say that it's called what is called a database. A database actually allows for that function. And then section B, I say that when you are going through the question paper class, when you're answering in an exam, don't forget that you are answering any 5 questions. In the answering of any 5, I say that you must do it according to the way you understand those answers, according to the way you can make the best options, you can make the best answers, the answers that you can make the best out of what you are given there. You should start with that. 2.1, list 3 functions of the finance department in an organization. A finance department, one of the key functions of it is what? It is actually to balance books. Finance department, it balances books. We are talking about balancing financial books. We talk about the cash flows. We talk about the company cash flows. They are balanced by the finance department. The finance department, it actually balances books. It also do control the company finances. They are there to control organizational finance, control organizational finance. I'm sure you can see very well that when we talk about quality within a finance department, it is seen by the ability of the finance department being able to control its financial movements. So finance must be well controlled, avoiding overspending and also avoiding under budgeting. It actually controls those. So it actually budgets must be submitted to. They also do budgeting. They also do budgeting They do budgeting and submit. They do budgeting and submit. Uh, and they do budgeting and ensure they do budgeting and ensure that this budgeting, we are saying they ensure that they do budgeting for the whole company, for for the organization, And these budgets, which can be done across, we are saying, in other words, what you need to do again, what you need to understand is that the finance department, it actually ensures that every financial obligation that are taking place across the functional areas are actually submitted to the finance department. They're supposed to reach the finance department in order to do the final financial controls within the organization. They also track income and expenses. They track, they also track, they track income and expenses. They also track income and expenses as one of the main functions of what? Of the finance department as well. It tracks as in terms of following, as in terms of ensuring that the income, how much money the organization is making, and wherever the money might be needing, we have got outstandings or payments that needs to be done. The finance department actually, it does follow up on those expenses as well in order to control and avoid uh, overspending as within the organization as a whole. So number 2.2, give 5 guidelines when the management assistant give 5 guidelines when the management assistant accompanies the manager on a business trip. 5 guidelines when the management assistant accompanies the manager on a business trip. When the management assistant accompanies the manager to on a business trip, what are the guidelines? So let's just put the answers aside. The guidelines, the guidelines, guidelines when a management assistant accompanies 2.2 guidelines for management assistant accompanying a manager on a business trip. So we want to see what are the guidelines that the management assistant, when management assistant accompanies the manager on a business trip. One, the management assistant always must act professionally, must always act professionally. The management assistant must always act professionally. When a management assistant accompanies the manager to a business trip, there is always the code of conduct. The professionalism the ball of that must not be dropped. So must always act professionally. The management assistant must always act professionally. Also, two, must take care of the routine tasks. The management assistant must take care of the daily routine tasks. The management assistant must take care of the routine tasks, which we can talk about, like yes, these involve reservations. We can talk about agendas of the of meetings, business trips that are being done there, and typing the minutes. So you can give examples of such things to say that, e.g., we are talking about typing minutes. Typing minutes. The management assistant must always know that the records are being kept. Records of the meeting of the business trip must always be there. That can only be fulfilled because of the assistant making records of the meetings, of the minutes. Also, Number 3, we are saying the management assistant must also dress neatly and stylish throughout through the trip. The assistant must dress. The assistant must also ensure that dress must dress neatly and stylishly throughout the meeting. Throughout throughout the meeting. Throughout the meeting or the trip. So it is the duty of the management assistant to ensure that the boss, the manager, is always neatly dressed, is also dressed according to the function that he or she is attending. So the management assistant must ensure that he also have to select outfits. Therefore, the management assistant must select outfits carefully. The careful one, we're talking about ensuring that if we can select the outfits carefully, therefore it means that each outfit is matching for the function for which it is designed. So therefore, you need to, the management assistant must do that. And also, they maintain professional relationships to avoid embarrassment. You must also maintain You must also maintain professional relationships. Maintain professional relationships. The management assistant must maintain professional relationships to avoid embarrassment, to avoid embarrassment. So the management assistant must ensure that there is always a professional relationship code of contact that is there in order to ensure that there is no embarrassment that can be created, and also respect the manager's privacy. They must also respect the manager's privacy. The management assistant must also respect the manager's privacy. That is very important, that the manager is also a human being. He also might need his own private times. So it is very important and very recommendable that the management assistant always respect the manager's privacy. That is very important as well. When we look at this, it's quite important that the private relationship, I mean the privacy of the manager is also maintained. And then the next question is saying, give 5 reasons why tasks are delegated to other people. Reasons for delegation. We have already talked about delegation, which we said that delegation, it's actually assigning duties and responsibilities to other people in order for work to be done easily. So within the definition, we can as well already understand that reasons for delegation. One, we are saying delegation can be done in order to ensure that work is equally distributed, in order to distribute workload, to distribute or share, workload. Delegation is done in order to distribute or share workload. What work can be shared when it is delegated. That is one other reason that is very important. Delegation can also be done in order to ensure that an opportunity is created to develop new skills, to create opportunities, create opportunities for development of new skills. to create opportunity for development of new skills. Employees, they always need to develop, or people have got a desire for achievement or a development for growth. So we are saying that create uh, a manager can also create an opportunity for his employees or for his subordinates to develop new skills. And then also, we also need to understand that delegation can also be done so that employee could be better qualified to execute the tasks. It can also be done in order to ensure that we are saying ensure that employees could another employees can be better qualified to do the tasks, to identify people who can do the tasks more better, to identify persons or employees who can do the tasks better. We are saying delegation work is given to other people other than the ones who are used to do it. So when we give it to other people who can do it much better, it actually profits the organization. It would profit the organization in that regard. And then also, it can also be done in order to save time. Delegation can also be done to save time, to save It can be done to save time also. Delegation can be done to save time. That is also reasons for delegation. And also for motivation. Delegation can also be done in order to motivate. It can be used as a motivational tool as a motivational tool. So we are saying employees are actually saved from stress and boredom of doing one work repeatedly. So by delegation, they are able to rotate and do work differently. That can also be a good advantage, which can also for which delegation can be done. Define each of the following terms: overtime, overtime, define what is overtime, define the following terms, overtime. So overtime, it is actually, we refer to extra hours. A person works above the what? Above the minimum required hours of working per working. We are saying it is extra time an employee can work more than his or her required time. We are talking about normal time of work. We call that overtime. So extra time an employee can work more than his or a required time, normal time of work. We call that what? Overtime. So overtime is always done when an employee has to go beyond the time limit. We can give, for example, that we people start work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So if people are to knock off knock off time is 4 o'clock. So if people works after 4, because there are some other responsibilities, duties to be done, then we can define that as what is overtime. So we can talk about that as overtime. So what is forgery? Forgery, it can actually be we are saying it can be signing someone else's name in an attempt to steal money. We are saying it can be forgery is signing illegally and with intentions of conning or stealing another person's money, another person, another person, another person's another person's money. So people do forgery, person's money. So when that happens, we are saying it is signing, which is actually illegal, which is actually unallowed. People doing that with the intentions of extortion. It can be done with the intentions of transfer. It can be done with the intentions of moving money from one person's account, which is also unacceptable. So what we are saying is that those are the reasons that can also cause that. Those are the reasons that can cause, I mean, that is what you mean by what? By forgery. Uh, those are what we mean, that is what we call by forgery. So let's just, let's just look in the next question. Let's just see, state 5 safety measures for an office. 5 safety measures for an office. State 5 office, safety measures for an office. What are the safety measures of an office? When you talk about safety and security, these are things. I mean, you need to understand that within an organization, safety is one of the key requirements that is there. That is why we talk about safety and security. So, state 5 safety measures for an office. One, do not carry too much in one journey. Make sure that a person you can see your way over the load. People must carry enough. One, we are saying load must not must not obstruct a person from movement. When people carry goods or when people carry things, they must be able to move. So we are saying the load, which is what they are carrying, must not obstruct, must not stop people from seeing in front of them. They should be able to see ahead of them. So therefore, they can be able to not, they can also not cause accidents. Also, use only equipment and machinery that people are trained and skilled to handle. Um, promote use of equipment, promote use of equipment and machinery. People are trained. People are trained of. When people use machines and use resources, that equipment that they are trained of, it reduces accidents. So people must always use equipment and machinery that they are used of. And also people must also adhere to warning notices and safety signs. Uh, People must follow notices. They must follow notices or warning signs. Warning signs must be followed within a building. People must follow the warning signs. These are also done in order to avoid accidents. And also, people must also be careful when using sharp objects. Carefulness, being careful when using sharp objects. Office safety. People must be careful when using sharp objects in order to avoid injuries, in order to avoid accidents, in order to avoid problems. So also we talk about do not press against the glass or a window to open it because it may also break. Uh, uh, Always be careful. Avoid pressing or leaning on objects that can break, on objects that can break is also one other safety requirement that we also need to talk about. And also we can talk about avoiding climbing of chairs and tables. People must not climb on chairs and tables, which can also cause accidents. Also, uh, we are talking about avoid running in corridors or staircases, which may also cause people to slip or trip or fall. Running and we are saying running, it also running in passages or corridors is must be avoided. They should walk politely or walk softly so and professionally so. And then also people must also do not press against breaking objects. And again, do not uh, do not just cause unnecessary screaming. People must not just scream when they are at workplace. That might also cause people to panic into panic mode and also result in accidents. So all practices that might result in accident must be avoided. And also, uh, what is the last one that I can also add is that people should also uh, they should it people must also people must also congregate. When people congregate on staircases and in corridors, it is difficult for them to for others to pass, so passages must not be must not be closed. We are saying there mustn't be practices that can cause congestion must be avoided in a workplace. That is one key reason or one key practice that we can also need to mention and worry about. And then petty cash, we once defined it already that what is petty cash? We have talked about petty cash as money kept in a business for the payment of smaller expenses that allow daily running of the business. Petty cash, it is a limited amount of money, amount of money, uh, limited amount of money that is kept in a business, limited amount of money, we are saying kept in a business for uh, financing smaller tasks, which allows daily running of the business, which promotes daily running of the business. So in other words, class, you should understand then when we talk about petty cash, the amount of money is very small. It is actually limited. It is not supposed to be a lot of money, and it is actually intended to finance micro functions or micro tasks within an organization, which would promote which would promote effective running of daily functions of the business. Therefore, we define that as what? As we can identify that as what? As petty cash. And then briefly explain automated conferencing, conferencing, automated uh, teleconferencing. When we say something is automated, it means we are talking about digital. So it is a quick and effective way to have discussions with customers, suppliers, or staff members. It's quick. It's a quickie. and effective way which is done effective way to have discussions of effective way of having discussions with customers. It is done to have discussions with customers and also suppliers or staff members. People within an organization, they quickly have a communication through a teleconferencing, which can actually enable them to have a quick meeting as customers and staff members, which allows time saving. So up to 7 people can what? We are saying up to 7 people can connect simultaneously without pre-booking or what operator assistance. And then all participants are billed separately. It allows many people to connect separately. It allows about 7 people to connect separately. Each person can connect on his own, which we are saying separately but simultaneously. Each with his own billing connect without simultaneously. That actually can allow or can be done without assistance or without operator assistance, without operator assistance. That is one good advantage of that. Without operator assistance, and then all participants are billed separately, allowing them to be. It is allowing them to be charged separately. Allowing them to be charged separately. That is what we mean by an automated teleconferencing, a very quick and effective way of having discussions, meetings with customers, with suppliers, with staff members, which allows about 7 people to connect simultaneously without the need of an operator assistance. And this actually does not affect the billing system. Each customer or each member or each participant is billed separately. So therefore, that is what you mean by teleconferencing. And then what are the 4 advantages of couriers? Advantages of courier, I'm sure like we have seen that when you look at courier, what are the advantages of courier? Courier, we talk about the movement of goods or the transportation of messages, the transportation of parcels, which can be done as express overnight. It can be done through various means. So one of the reasons is that couriers are very fast, it's very faster and effective. It's very faster. It's very faster. It's very faster and effective. It can actually allow, it can also, it can actually provide services that can be door-to-door delivery, may provide effective, may provide is convenient. We are talking about the convenience of door-to-door, convenience of door-to-door delivery is available. Parcels can be delivered at doorsteps. Parcels can be delivered at doorsteps, and then again, it has got it is very reliable. it's quite reliable because addresses and contacts, reliable service. It's a very reliable service. The contacts of people involved are saved there. It is very reliable and actually speed and it's faster. Uh, it is safe and secure because there is insurance involved. Uh, very safe, very safe and secure because insurance is available because insurance is available. So businesses or individuals cannot lose their things. They cannot lose their products. There is convenience of door-to-door delivery. It is reliable service, very safe and secure because insurance is available. So what we are saying is this can be quite a good advantage in terms of courier. And then state four duties of a messenger within a business. This I'm sure that these questions are just so repetitive. Duties of a messenger in an organization. One, we're saying it has to do with moving items from one office to another within the business. Moving a messenger, it has to do with moving, talk about moving items from one office to another, moving items from one office to another is the duty, is the duty of a messenger. We can talk about also distributing mails and small packages. Distribution of small packages is also another function. Distribution of small packages. Distribution of small packages, which can be parcels. They are also sent around by the messenger. The messenger can also collect those packages also. He or she can also collect the packages. Also managing the collection and dispatch of packages. Managing collection and dispatching of items is the duty of the what of a messenger in the business, is the duty of the messenger in the business, which also we can also ensuring that he has also to do with they can do duties in the mail room, like opening mails can also be done by a messenger. He can also do copying of documents. A messenger can also copy documents. It's quite important that he can do that. We can talk about sorting and classification of internal mails. There are duties of the of a messenger as well. And then otherwise, they can also, in smaller organizations, they can also take post to post offices. That is delivering packages to mail services such as to say post office. So in other ways, what we are saying is that they are there for transportation management or also for we can also say for transportation management, or we can talk about delivery of mails and packages from couriers. Those are the functions and duties of a messenger. They are duties of a messenger. And then number 4, describe factors to be considered when buying office furniture. When office furniture is being bought, describe factors to 5. Describe factors to be considered when buying office furniture. What are those that can be done? 1, we are saying when buying office furniture, what are considerations that must be there. We can have a list of these, which is one, there is one, an executive chair with armrest that actually allows tilts and movements that provides back support must be there. We are saying inclusion of executive chair, inclusion of executive chair with armrest. With armrest must be there. Also providing backs, also with support of back armrest or support the back. When a person is sitting, the chair must support the back in order for the person not to have back pain. That is question number 4.1. We are answering question 4.1. We are looking at question 4.1 here. Factors to be considered when buying office furniture. Also, we need also useful furniture such as stationery, shelves, telephone tables must also be there, and also letter holders, baskets. They must also must be there to make life easier for staff. So we are saying, in other words, useful furniture must be bought. Acquire useful furniture, e.g. letter holders. We can talk about letter holders. We can talk about baskets. We can talk about baskets. We can talk about stationary shelves or stationary shelves. These are there in order to make life easier for what? For staff members. And also we can also, cheap furniture does not always have the same features for what? For comfort and what? And effectiveness than more expensive furniture is. So what we are saying is the proper choice must be done when acquiring office furniture. It is not always supposed to say that cheap furniture is bought, but people must buy which furniture that matches or that suits the purpose for which it is designed or it is intended for. Also, we also need to have use modular furniture which can be adjusted to the needs of workers. Adjustable furniture must also be considered. Adjustable furniture. Adjustable furniture. We talk about, e.g., we talk about chairs. We can talk about even tables. We have got modern equipment. Adjustable furniture must be acquired. Adjustable furniture must be there, which can actually also these must not and must be very strong and long lasting. Must be very strong and long lasting. That is very important also with regards to furniture acquisition. And maybe to add on, it is also very important that choice leather furnitures or plain wooden furniture must also be considered. The type of furniture must a decision on type or make must be considered. E.g., we can talk about plain or we can talk about leather. These are factors that are dependent with the environment in which the furniture is going to be kept. Where is the furniture going to be used? There are factors that might be there which might affect or which might determine to say that in this environment we cannot use leather furniture. We might not have plain also and whatsoever, and also either with matching factors such as organizational or the previous organizational furniture, which can also play a role there. So what we are saying is furniture is designed in different ways, and there are various factors that might also affect that. That can also have to be taken into account. We cannot also not we cannot also forget that it is always supposed to have some special kneeling chairs on which a person sits with bent knees, which can also encourage good posture and relieves backache. That is also very important. And then we also need an armchair with shuffles. That is also very important when it comes to office furniture. That is also very important. And then state 5 characteristics of a good sitting posture and give a substantiate detail on how each characteristic impact or influence the physical health of an employee. Characteristics of good sitting posture, and gives detail on how each characteristic impact or influence the physical health of an employee. So number 4.2. Number 4.2. So what we are saying is we want factors to, 5 characteristics of a good sitting posture. Characteristics of good sitting posture, and also how each characteristic influence the physical health of an employee. 1, the back should be bent slightly forward. Sitting posture. 1, we are saying 1, back should bend slightly forward. Back should bend slightly forward. Back should bend slightly forward. And then we are saying, how does that affect the employee? So in terms of the influence, so we are saying sitting posture influence, we must know that sitting in a rigid upright position for a long period, for a long time, is unnaturally is very unnatural and can cause stress in the back and shoulders. Upright position is unnaturally safe, is unnaturally not recommendable, is unnaturally not safe. So what happens is that an upright position, a rigid upright position, guys, what we need to understand is that it can cause stress and pain on shoulders, can cause back pain, it can cause back pain, and also and shoulders. It can cause back pain and also pain on shoulders. That is the effect of an upright position. Back pain and also pain on what? And shoulders. So that is one position. And then we can also talk about the head should keep up. We can also, the head should keep upright in a line with what? With spinal column. head. Number 2, head must sit upright, aligned to spinal column. The head must sit upright, aligned with spinal column. And then how does that influence the employee? If the chair is too high, the head will be bent, and this may cause backache. Influence: if the chair is too high, the head will be bent. The head will be bent, and this may cause what? This may cause backache, and may cause backache. Those are some of the things that we can also need to look at. And the chair should, the number 3 that we can talk about. Number 3, the chair should be adjusted to the correct height. Chair must be adjusted. Chair must be adjusted to correct height. Chair must be adjusted to correct height. Thighs are horizontal to the floor. Influence: it means the influence is to make the thighs horizontal to the floor. Influence: thighs are horizontal to the floor. So we are talking about sitting positions and how they affect the employee, So the various sitting positions, they can affect the employee like that. And then maybe lastly, we can talk about the lower part of the back should be supported so that the person do not sit in a hunched position. The lower back of the employee must be supported so that the person or the employee cannot sit in a hunched position. This can also result, or the influence is that it can cause stress in the back. It might cause stress in the back also. So these are the various sitting positions and their influence that we must also look at. And then the use and type of access cards will be determined by an access and control of movement policy of particular business. So state the benefits of access control for a business. Benefits of access control. What are the advantages of access control for a business? Actually, 1, it increases safety and security awareness. Access control improves safety. 1, we are saying it actually improves safety and security. It improves safety, security, awareness in organization. It improves safety and security awareness within the organization. Also, we can talk about it also controls physical access. It helps to control control physical access. When we control physical access, we are saying some places are what trespassing is avoided. Avoids. It actually tries to avoid trespassing. Trespassing. Avoiding trespassing. Trespassing is actually avoided because of that. It actually helps to avoid trespassing. And then when we talk about the benefits of access control in an organization, also it can also minimize exposure to risks and losses. Risks and losses are minimized. Risks of losses are minimized within an organization because we are saying not everyone can be able to get inside or can pass through places. So when access control is minimized, when it is regulated, losses are avoided because there are certain places and areas which everyone or which people cannot freely move around, and therefore safety of organizational resources is increased. And then it also it can also control, it can also guard sections within the business, business guarding, business guarding services are improved. We are saying it is just regulated movement or access control. It ensures that there is also guarding services that we have as an organization, which can actually improve and also ensure that there is always a controlled movement, and then it ensures that the services for security are improved. And then we can also protect against activities linked to specific employees. Control of activities linked to specific employees is also easier. Control of activities linked to specific employees is quite easier because of access control within a business. So we are saying the business is not a free range. Areas, certain places are actually avoided to actually people are not gonna go everywhere. And in that regard, it actually helps to what? To secure the place. Let's just discuss the duties of a messenger or a monitor control. This one we have already answered that. We said that is answered. This has been answered already. We answered that already. It has been mentioned and answered there. Industrial espionage. Industrial espionage means obtaining secret information about a company. State 5 measures that can be taken to prevent espionage. So measures that can be taken to avoid espionage. One, we can talk about protect confidential. It can actually help to one. We are saying protect confidential documents from what? From 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 people who must not get in touch with them. So what we are saying is that secret information of an organization. So if state ways 5 measures that can be taken to prevent that, ways that can be taken to avoid industrial espionage. So we are saying do not allow personnel to take confidential documents from what? From the premises. One, confidential documents must be kept safe and under lock, must be kept safe Also, underlock